Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Kiran Mai. Today, we are going to discuss about general and local anesthetics and therapeutic gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitric oxide. First, we discuss about gases. Nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, earlierly it was called as EDRF, endothelial derived sorry, relaxing factor, which was discovered by Robert Purchgott. He said that endothelial cell liberate a labile factor which causes vascular relaxation. So he called it as a EDRF. Later on, it was identified as a nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is biosynthesized in our body from amino acid L-arginine. L-arginine is oxidized into nitric oxide in presence of nitric oxide synthase enzymes. There are three isoforms in nitric oxide synthase enzymes. What are the effects of nitric oxide? Nitric oxide having two major effects. First one, direct direct effect in low concentrations. In low concentration, these nitric oxide which binds with the guanylate cyclase, it is a receptor for nitric oxide. It converts guanylate cyclase into cyclic GMP. This cyclic GMP is responsible for the relaxation of the smooth muscle. Second one is indirect action, indirect effect. Indirect effect, it is in high concentrations. Nitric oxide end product is reactive nitrogen species, which are reacts with oxygen and superoxide radicals. So all these together will form peroxynitrate anion, which is cytotoxic effect. So indirectly, it is having cytotoxic effect. In order to get cytotoxic effect, nitric oxide production is in high concentration. In low concentration, it relaxes the smooth muscle. Next, what are the functions of nitric oxide? Nitric oxide having so many functions in our body. First one, nitric oxide as a vasodilator. We already discussed about a guanylate cyclase, which relaxes the smooth muscle. So relaxation of smooth muscle will causes vasodilatation. When in some conditions endothelial dysfunction will be there. So in those conditions, impaired nitric oxide production will be there. What are those conditions? Cerebral coronary vasospasm, atherosclerosis, ischemic reperfusion, diabetes mellitus. All these conditions, endothelial dysfunction will be there. So less production of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide and RBC. Nitric oxide prevents the sickling of RBC. So nitric oxide is used in sickle cell anemia, in the treatment of sickle cell anemia, pulmonary hypertension. Third one, nitric oxide and platelets. Nitric oxide inhibit the platelet aggregation. It is having inhibition of platelet aggregation. Nitric oxide in CNS. Nitric oxide in sorry. Nitric oxide acts as a neurotransmitter in NANC. That means non-adrenergic, non-cholinergic transmission. It innervates smooth muscle of GIT. So it delays the emptying of gastric. It delays the gastric emptying time. And corpora cavernosa, that is penis, erection of penis, esophagus. It innervates all the smooth muscles above discussed. Fifth one, nitric oxide in immune system. Whenever infective agent which attacks the macrophages induce nitric oxide production. We already said that in higher quantities, nitric oxide will have cytotoxic effect. So it has germicidal effect, antibacterial, antifungal. It is having anti all these cytotoxic effect. Next, nitric oxide when inhaled, it is having vasodilatation of pulmonary blood vessels. So it is used in pulmonary hypertension in neonates and in adults also pulmonary hypertension. ARDS. It is administered by inhalation of nitric oxide in 10 to 80 parts per million concentration. If we give in higher concentration, it causes toxic effect, that is methemoglobinemia. Second gas is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide normally produced in the body from food and tissue metabolism. Atmospheric air is having 0.04 percentage of carbon dioxide. It is having when it is inhaled, it is having some actions in our body. Effects of carbon dioxide when it is inhaled. First one, effect on respiration. Carbon dioxide directly acting on brainstem, so it stimulates the respiration. And second mechanism of stimulation is peripheral chemoreceptor, stimulation of peripheral chemoreceptor. So when carbon dioxide concentration is high, or when we inhale carbon dioxide, it increases the rate and tidal volume of a lung. So it is helpful in when oxygen levels in the body are lower. Carbon dioxide stimulates brainstem, so we'll have more air inside. So oxygen demand is maintained. Circulation. In circulation, carbon dioxide causes smooth muscle relaxation. It in vascular compartments as well as smooth muscle relaxation in cardiac muscle also. So vascular smooth muscle relaxation causes vasodilatation. Cardiac muscle relaxation causes decreased heart rate, myocardial force of contraction. In normal person, these effects, that is in circulation, vascular and cardiac muscle relaxation is antagonized by sympathetic activity. Whenever smooth muscle is relaxes, sympathetic activity is increased in the peripheral release of catecholamines. So we'll have opposite action. But in cerebral and coronary vessels, these vessels are devoid of sympathetic innervation. So carbon dioxide is the most potent cerebral vasodilator. What are the adverse effects with carbon dioxide inhalation? Number one, carbon dioxide in low concentration stimulates cerebral cortex, reduces the seizure threshold. In higher concentration, it will cause depression. whenever carbon dioxide, whenever inhaled carbon dioxide percentage is more than 7, headache, dizziness, mental confusion, increased BP, these are the all symptoms of carbon dioxide. And the percentage is more than 10, loss of consciousness will appear. Sudden withdrawal after prolonged intubation with carbon dioxide is also not good because it will also cause dizziness, nausea, vomiting. So tapered withdrawal in tapered withdrawal is maintained. What are the preparations and uses? Carbon dioxide is stored in steel grey paint cylinder in liquid form. It is stored in liquid form in steel grey painted cylinder. Second preparation is in the form of carbogen. Carbogen means oxygen plus carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is 5 to 10% only. Rest of the 95 to 90% oxygen in the form of carbogen. It is also prepared available in the form of solid carbon dioxide, that is dry ice form or snow form. What are the therapeutic uses? Hiccups, sudden contraction of inspiratory muscles terminated by abrupt closure of glottis. It is a common phenomenon due to gastric distension, alcohol, or excessive CNS toxicity, metabolic changes, irritation of the phrenic nerve. These are all the causes of the hiccups. Normally, it is self-limited, it is harmless, but in few patients, these hiccups they will continue for a more number of days. It will be very distressing for them. So, treatment for long-standing hiccups. It is carbon dioxide used in the treatment for long-standing hiccups. In this, inhalation of 10 to 25% of carbon dioxide is given, or else rebreathing into a paper bag will also works in the same way. It is also used in local application. It is the use of carbon dioxide in locally. It is we discussed as it is in available as snow form. It is minus 80 degrees centigrade. So it destroys the warts by local application of 5 to 6 seconds only. It is painless and scarring is minimum. Surrounding tissue should be protected by the paraffin. So carbon dioxide used in the removal of warts, and it is also used in the treatment of hiccups. And next gas is oxygen. Oxygen in inspired air, we inspire 21% of oxygen. Oxygen in the body, it is carried in hemoglobin in a major position, plasma in a minor. Effects of administration of oxygen. It affects ventilation. Initially, it depresses the ventilation because inhibition of chemoreceptors. Later on, mildly stimulated. Second one, it decreases the sensitivity of the respiratory centers to the carbon dioxide. Second system, in CVS, normal person, it decreases the heart rate, cardiac output, decrease coronary cerebral flow, and increase pulmonary flow. It decreases the nitrogen concentration because Decreased partial pressure of nitrogen will happen when oxygen is administered. So it leads to the elimination of nitrogen from the body. Next, the adverse reactions of oxygen therapy. In respiratory tract, if we give more than 60% of oxygen in more than 36 hours, it will damage the pulmonary epithelium, inactivate the surfactant. In turn leads into pulmonary atelectasis because oxygen will form reactive oxygen species, which is cytotoxic effect. In CNS, if the oxygen pressure is more than 2 atmosphere, a person will suffer from paresthesia, mental disturbance, loss of consciousness, and convulsions. And in preterm neonates, when 100% of oxygen is given, especially 3 to 6th week of life, more than 100 millimeters of mercury interferes with retinal blood supply. So, occlusive and proliferative retinal disease will be occur, especially in premature children. It may end up in the blindness also. It is very dangerous effects in premature children. You have to be very careful in NICUs and PICUs while oxygenating the premature children. Fourth one, hypoxemia. We already discussed about oxygen will decrease the coronary blood flow. So whenever the concentration of oxygen giving, it lowers the coronary blood flow proportionately. And it will cause carbon dioxide narcosis. Whenever respiratory muscle weakness, respiratory depression is there, alveolar ventilation is inadequate to prevent the rise of carbon dioxide. So, if normal, increased partial pressure of carbon dioxide will cause hypoxemic drive. So, hyperventilation will occur and carbon dioxide will be eliminated from the body. But in above said conditions, the stimulation is absent. So, further rise in the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is seen. It is also called syndrome of carbon dioxide narcosis, which will causes increased intracranial tension. The signs of increased intracranial tension is sweating, twitching, drowsiness, convulsions, papillary edema, coma. These are the disadvantages of carbon dioxide, oxygen. And oxygen is having fire hazard. So you have to be very careful whenever supplying the oxygen. The therapeutic uses. The therapeutic uses of the oxygen, it is used in the correction of hypoxia. Inadequate tissue oxygenation, hypoxemia will occur. Reduction in the arterial tension, that means partial pressure of oxygen, it is called hypoxemia. Hypoxemia leads to hypoxia. Hypoxemia sensed by carotid and aortic bodies. So it will causes hyperventilation, increased additional breathing effort. So correction of oxygen consumption is taken place. Then body stop hyperventilation. It is used in the reduction of partial pressure of other inert gas. And oxygen dilution. It is a dilution agent in anesthetic gas. And next is hyperbaric oxygen. Hyperbaric oxygen is we are giving oxygen in higher higher pressure. We are giving oxygen in high pressure with the specialized chambers or masks. The uses of this hyperbaric oxygen, it reduction in the size of gas, mainly nitrogen decompression sickness, and it is used in the air gas embolism. Number two, hyperoxygenation, displacement of it is used in carbon monoxide poisoning, smoke inhalation. Uses are this hyperbaric oxygen is used in displacement of carbon monoxide and smoke inhalation. It is used in the when peripheral vasoconstriction in the tissue. It will relax the vascular smooth muscle. So it is used as a vasodilator. It increases the non-vasculature in it promotes wound healing. It is having bactericidal action on anaerobic organisms. These are the therapeutical uses of oxygen, hyperbaric oxygen, and the adverse reactions from the hyperbaric oxygen. It causes claustrophobia. It causes barotrauma to the ear and the lungs. And it liberates the free radicals. So these free radicals will damage central nervous system, neurons, and pulmonary tissue. It will cause retrolender fibroplasia in specially premature children. It catch holds the fire very fast, so it is fire hazardous. Next topic is general anesthesia. It is a very new branch. Anesthesia is a very new branch. First general anesthetic used is ether by Morton on October 16, 1985. What are the cardinal features of the general anesthesia? It should have analgesia, means no pain, amnesia, no memory, loss of all senses, reflexes, and consciousness. Muscle should be in a relaxed position, partial loss of respiration, and cerebrovascular functions. What is the ideal general anesthetic? Ideal general anesthetic which induce unconsciousness smoothly and rapidly, and it will also cause prompt recovery. But since now we don't have any ideal agent, no single agent will fulfill the all characteristics and all ideal general anesthetic characters. So nowadays in clinical uses, we are using balanced anesthesia, taking advantage of individual benefits and minimizing the individual toxicities. These are the cardinal features of the general anesthesia. What is a protocol? While giving the anesthesia, there are some points need to be maintained in a order. First one, pre-anesthetic medication. Patient have to take pre-anesthetic medication, then induction. It should be rapid and smooth. After that, maintenance. Next, neuromuscular blockade in order to intubate. These are the protocol for this is the protocol for the general anesthesia. Stages of general anesthesia. In general anesthesia, we have 4 stages. In third stage, it is having 4 planes. First stage. In first stage, it is a state of analgesia. Only sensory transmission is inhibited. No amnesia, consciousness, touch. These are all intact only. Stage 2. In stage 2, it is a state of excitement and delirium. Patients shows violence behavior, amnesia, but patient is having irregular respiration. So to avoid this second stage, thiopental sodium is given before the inhalation. Stage 3. Stage 3 is a state of surgical anesthesia. In this stage 3, regular respiratory muscles, relaxing of skeletal muscles occurs. It has been divided into 4 planes. Plane 1. In plane 1, eyeballs are rapidly moving. Respiration and skeletal muscle tone are normal. Excuse me. And plane 2. Most surgeries are performed in the plane 2. In plane 2, there is progressive loss of corneal and light and laryngeal reflexes. Respiration is slow, but it is regular. This is regarding plane 2. Plane 3. In plane 3, marked muscle relaxation is seen. Abdominal respiration, eyeballs are fixed. Light corneal pharyngeal reflexes are absent. Stage 4. Stage 4 is complete muscle relaxation. Reflexes are all lost. Respiration is abdominal. Stage 4. Stage of medullary paralysis. It is overdosing. This stage occurs due to overdosing. Respiratory centers and vasomotor centers, they are depressed. This is the stage 4, which is an indication of overdosing of an anesthetic agent. And clinically, clinically there is no distinction between these stages. So the reliable index of the stages, especially for third stage, is loss of corneal reflex, establishment of regular respiration, decreased BP, cardiac respiration, depression, signs of deep anesthesia. So these are the deep anesthesia symptoms. In many countries, anesthesia is maintained in computer assisted monitoring of vital signs. The types of general anesthetics. Inhalational and intravenous. In inhalational, gas is nitrous oxide. Halogenated liquids are halothane, methoxyfluorine, enfluorine, isofluorine, sevofluorine, and disfluorine. Intravenous agents. These are the fast inducers. In this, barbiturates, non-barbiturates are considered. Examples for the barbiturates are thiopental sodium, methohexetone. These are the fast inducers. Non-barbiturate intravenous general anesthetics are propofol, etomidate, slow in number two, slow inducer the benzodiazepine, diazepam, lorazepam, midazolam. These are the drugs which are under general anesthesia. Pharmacological principles for anesthesia. First one is induction, second one is maintenance, third one is recovery. Induction. Induction means time interval between administration of anesthetic drug and development of the stage of surgical anesthesia. It should be fast, smooth to avoid stage 2. Thiopental and propofol, these are the two agents commonly used. What is the governing factor of pharmacokinetics of inducing agent is lipophility. High lipophilic, it is a good inducer because it enters the lipophilic brain within a single circulation. So all these anesthetic agents, the termination of action mainly redistribution rather than metabolism. The drug is redistributed from CNS to the muscles, tissues and viscera than by the metabolism. And maintenance. What is the maintenance in general anesthesia? Period during which the patient remains in a sustained stage of surgical anesthesia, stage 3, plane 2. It is maintenance. Patient has to be in this state throughout the surgery. So anesthetist has to maintain these states throughout the surgery. So anesthetist maintain the stage of anesthesia as well as he monitors the vitals of patient throughout the surgical procedure. So he look after the depth of anesthesia has to be maintained. What is depth of anesthesia? And it depends on which factors. Depth of anesthesia is dependent on concentration of anesthetic agent in CNS. The governing factor for the concentration is uptake and redistribution of anesthetic agent, how much it would reach the CNS. Transfer of an anesthetic drug from alveolar air to the blood, then brain. Gas movement in the body is dependent on the partial pressure of that gas. And in one compartment, in another compartment, in various compartments, all the compartments are having same partial, the gas is having same partial pressure in the all the compartments. It will reach steady state level. The steady state level dependent on alveolar wash in, solubility of the anesthetic drug, and pulmonary ventilation rate. These are the factors which influence. Alveolar washing. In inspired anesthetic mixture replaces normal air inside the lungs. It is a time dependent on residual capacity ventilation rate. Second factor is solubility characteristic of anesthetic drug. In this, first one is partition coefficient between the blood and gas. Anesthetic solution solubility in the blood are methoxyfluorine is greater than halothane is greater than sevoflurane is greater than enflurane is greater than isoflurane is greater than disflurane is equal to nitrous oxide. So partition coefficient between blood gas is indirectly proportional to the induction anesthesia. Second one is P by partition of oil gas at steady state level. At steady state level, lipid solubility increase, potency increase. At the same time, minimum alveolar concentration is decreased. So, partition effect of oil and gas is directly proportional to the potency. If the gas is having more POG, it is very potent anesthetic drug. Potency of an inhaled anesthetic agent is dependent on MAC, that is minimum alveolar concentration. Minimum concentration of anesthetic agent requires to prevent a movement in 50% of patients in response to a in a standard surgical skin incision. Percentage of anesthetic gas. If the anesthetic gas is a smaller MAC, its potency is high. This minimum alveolar concentration is dependent on solubility. If the anesthetic agent is more lipid soluble, MAC is very less. And CNS depressant. It is decreases with CNS depression, age, hypothermia, all these influence MAC. Sex and acid-base balance, arterial gas, these are these don't have any influence on MAC. Next, MAC is indirectly proportional to the potency. The mechanism of action of these general anesthetics, inhalation, inhalation and all inhalational agents, they are non-selective in their action. Especially barbiturates, benzodiazepine, etomidate, and propofol facilitate GABA-mediated inhibition at GABA receptor. Here, they will cause chloride influx. Ketamine. Ketamine, it blocks the glutamate receptor. Glutamate is an excitatory neurotransmitter in NMDA receptor. Enflurane and isoflurane, they decrease the opening of activated sodium channels, so decrease the excitation. So neuronal firing in the sensory motor both are inhibited. This is the mechanism of action of general anesthetics. Next we'll discuss about individual drug. First we'll discuss about inhalational anesthetic agent. Inhalational anesthetic agent, first one is nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide, it is sweet in smell. It is sweet. It is having sweet smell. It is not irritant. It is strong analgesic property. It doesn't have inflammatory or explosive nature. Induction and recovery is very rapid. Effects on CVS, respiration, kidney, liver, there are no effects for nitrous oxide. Potency, its potency is less because it doesn't have any muscle relaxation property. Bronchodilation character is also not there for nitrous oxide. It is mainly metabolized by exhalation. Second one, halothane. Halothane is a very economic general anesthetic which is used in developing countries. It is also having sweet smell, but it is having non-irritant. So this halothane is preferred choice for pediatric patients. It is a poor analgesic. It is having poor analgesic action. Induction and recovery is it is having low induction and recovery rate. It is having vagomimetic action, so it will causes bradycardia, decreases BP, decreases cardiac output. It increases the sensitization of myocardium to the catecholamines. It causes hepatitis. It is very potent drug, but it doesn't have any muscle relaxation property. So this halothane should be given with an analgesic and muscle relaxant, that is skeletal muscle relaxant drug, in order to be an ideal anesthetic gas. It is having bronchodilatory action, so it is preferred in asthmatic patients. It is also, we also discussed it. It is an and inexpensive general anesthetic agent. It is metabolized into in liver. So fluoroendothelium, trifluoro, this is having adverse effects on liver, which will cause hepatitis. The dangerous hazards of malignant hypertension is also seen with halogen general anesthesia. And the next drug is methoxyfluorine. It is not using now because it is having highest hepatotoxicity and nephrotoxicity incidence. Next drug is enflurane. Enflurane, it is having mild odor. The induction and recovery from the anesthesia is rapid. It will cause decrease in the heart rate, decrease BP, and decrease cardiac output. It is not seen with catecholamine sensitization is not same with this enfluorine. The potency of this enfluorine, it is between the halothane and isoflurane. It is more potent than halothane but less potent than isoflurane. It is also having bronchial dilatory capacity. It is metabolized as fluoride ions. So these fluoride ions will go to the renal tissue. It will cause renal damage. It is contraindicated in epileptic patients because it will decreases the threshold level of seizures. And isoflurane. Isoflurane is a structural analog of enflurane. It is having pungent odor. It is irritating, but it is having rapid onset and rapid recovery from the anesthesia. The CVS, renal, and kidney, liver, these side effects are very minimal or rare with this enflurane. It does not cause sensitization to the catecholamines of myocardial endometrium, so it is not arrhythmogenic. It is potent than enflurane. It is having muscle relaxation and bronchodilatory functions. It is expensive, so it is mainly used in the countries which are having good economic source. And desflurane. Desflurane is irritant. It is having irritant nature. It is rapid inducer of anesthesia. Sorry. Sevoflurane. It is the latest volatile halogenated anesthetic with properties intermediate between the isoflurane and the desflurane. It is non-pungent, non-inflammable. Induction with sevoflurane is rapid, 2 minutes, and smooth because it is non-pungent. Recovery is also faster than the halothane. Advantages: being a non-pungent, it does not cause respiratory irritation. Acceptability is better even by the children. Induction and emergence of anesthetics are as fast as with the desflurane. It has a good muscle relaxant property, and cardiovascular effects are similar to those isoflurane, but it does not produce coronary stream. Next, local anesthetics. Introduction. Local anesthesia is it is reversibly block impulse conduction and produce transient loss of sensation. These local anesthesia is used in minor surgeries. There is no loss of consciousness as in the general anesthetics. No need to maintain vital functions during the surgery. In general anesthesia, anesthetist has to maintain the vitals. In local anesthesia, there is no need of vital are monitored. The susceptibility of nerve fibers to the local anesthetics. Local anesthetics capable of blocking all types of nerve fibers, but susceptibility to the local anesthetic depends on the size and the myelination of the nerve fiber. Nerve fiber heavily myelinated or they're susceptible last. Lightly myelinated fibers like B and C fibers, these are very lightly myelinated. So they are the first affected. They will cause pain, temperature, touch sensation. Next order will be the A delta. A delta which causes helps in the proprioception. And next is alpha, beta, gamma. These are heavy myelinated nerve fibers. So the sensation will last. Recovery is in reverse order. Classification of the local anesthetic. It is classified into two groups, amides and esters group. In amide group, it is again divided into long acting and intermediate acting. In long acting, we have bupivacaine, L-bupivacaine, ropivacaine, and dibucaine. Intermediate action, intermediately acting local anesthetics are lidocaine, mepivacaine, prilocaine, articaine. These are the amide group local anesthetics and ester group. Ester group, first one is long acting. It is tetracaine. Intermediate acting, cocaine. Short acting, procaine, chlorpropane, benzocaine, and proparcaine. These are the ester group of general anesthetics. The miscellaneous local anesthetics, they do not belong to amide group or ester group. These are pramocaine and diclocaine. These are the miscellaneous group of local anesthetics. In the structure of local anesthesia, these local anesthetic agent, it is having aromatic part which is lipophilic, and it is having basic amide chain. These two are linked by the ester or amide bond. Except benzocaine, no because it doesn't have any amide chain. So all these local anesthetics, these are weak bases. So they are partly ionized at physiological pH. Unionized form of local anesthetics penetrates through the IV metabolism, IV membrane inside the axon. Ionized form active at receptors. Mechanism of action. These local anesthetics, they will block the voltage gated sodium channels. These voltage gated sodium channel, it is exist in three forms. First one is resting and closed form. Second one is activated form. Third one is inactivated or blocked form. Sodium channel has an active gate, that is AA gate, AG gate, interactively gated IG gate, that is inactively gated. It exists in three functional states. In in resting in resting phase, resting phase or closed state, active gate is closed, normal resting potential will be there. Inactivated state or blocked state, internal gate is closed after action potential passed. Local anesthetics in their ionized form binds to its receptor at intracellular part. It close to the inactivate gate, stabilizing inactivate state. So, local anesthetics prevent initiation and propagation of nerve impulse by reducing passage of sodium, which is used for the action potential. Effects of pH on local anesthetic action. We already discussed that local anesthetics are bases. It is pH dependent. At physiological pH, local anesthetics are partly ionized, partly unionized. These are all weak bases. Unionized form useful in diffusion through the membrane, that is axon. Ionized form ending to the binding to the receptor. In additional, local anesthetics fully ionized, so poor distribution throughout the nerve. So they are less effective. Pharmacokinetics of local anesthetics. Biotransformation and hypersensitivity reactions are governed by the whether it is having amide group or ester bond. Biotransformation esters, these are short duration because these are rapidly hydrolyzed by plasma and liver esterases. If genetical abnormality is there, their metabolism is prolonged. In spinal fluid contains negligible amounts of esterases, so intrathecal type of local anesthesia is having prolonged duration. Amide group is having longer duration because these are degraded by hepatic microsomes, N-dealkylation or hydrolysis. Hypersensitivity reaction, ester group, most prominent metabolite to a potentially allergic PABA. PABA derivative, so they antagonize the actions of sulfonamides also. These are the regarding pharmacokinetics of local anesthetics. Let's discuss individual drugs. Pharmacological characteristics, amide group, these amide group in long acting, this is act more than 180 minutes. In this long acting, we have bupivacaine and levobupivacaine. This bupivacaine and levobupivacaine is levostereoisomer of bupivacaine. Bupivacaine, it is used in infiltration, nerve block, epidural, and spinal anesthesia. It is more sensory. It will transmit through placenta very least. It is having intermediate onset, but it should not be given in IV regional anesthesia, paracervical block. The toxicity and other uses of this bupivacaine, it prolongs the QTC interval because it blocks the sodium channel during the systole as well as the end of the diastole also. So it will due to prolonged QTC interval, it will precipitate ventricular tachycardias and arrhythmias. Acidosis enhances the hypoxemia toxicity. So L-bupivacaine is equal potent with the bupivacaine, but it is less toxic. Second drug is ropivacaine. This ropivacaine, it is used in infiltration, epidural anesthesia, excuse me, regional anesthesia. It is less cardiotoxic. It is having more motor sparing. It is also having intermediate onset of action. Toxicity in other uses. Ropivacaine is having S and R isoforms, cis and R. S iso stereoisomer less affecting to the cardiac sodium channels. R isoform is toxic. Next one is debucaine. It is also called as syncocaine. It is very potent, long-acting local anesthetic. It is used in surface anesthesia of anal and rectum. It is rarely used as a local anesthetic. It is more toxic than the bupivacaine and others. It's a pseudocholinease ester inhibitor. It is an accepted characteristic for this debucaine. Next, intermediate. Next, we'll move to the intermediate potency local anesthetics. These are lignocaine, mepivacaine, prilocaine, articaine. First, we'll discuss with lignocaine. Most widely used multi-purpose of local anesthetic. It is used as topical on mucous membranes. It is used in infiltration, nerve block, epidural and spinal. It is also used in opioid in synergies in decreasing the pain. These lignocaine and opioid, will synergistically decrease the pain. It is used in post-herpetic neuralgia as transdermal patch. Next drug is mepivacaine. Mepivacaine is half potent as lignocaine. It is similar to the lignocaine except it is not effective as a topical agent. Mepivacaine is not effective topical agent. Can used without epinephrine because it is having vasoconstriction property. Toxicity similar to the lignocaine. Next drug is prilocaine. Prilocaine is equipotent with the lignocaine. It is used in dental infiltration block, not causes vasodilatation, so can use without excitement. Euthetic mixture is also covered. Next one is articaine. It is also equipotent with the lignocaine. It is having rapid onset of action, dental and epidural and spinal, along with the epinephrine. Next is ester group. In ester group, we have long acting, intermediate, and short acting. In long acting, we have tetracaine. It is also called as amitocaine. It is 4 times potent than lignocaine. It is long acting drug which duration of its action is lost more than 180 minutes. His eyes, nose, throat, 2 ears, 2 eyes, It is a long acting. It can be used topically for eyes and nose and throat. For eye, it is preferable because it will not cause any itching sensation. For spinal, it is very suitable. Slow onset, highly lipophilic. It will slowly hydrolyzed, so its T half is longer. Toxicity of the tetracaine is it will all these ester groups will release the metabolite of PABA, which is analog of some sulfonamide, and cardiogenic arrhythmia should be taken. And next group of drug is intermediately acting. This is cocaine. Cocaine. Cocaine is half potent with than lignocaine. It is not using now. It is a protoplasmic poisoning. It will cause tissue necrosis. Vasoconstriction properties. It is having constriction property. Toxicity, CNS stimulant, euphoria dependence. It increases the temperature and BP. And short acting. Procaine. The duration of action is 20 to 60 minutes. Not using vasodilatation. Procaine. The toxicity of the procaine is bradycardia. It will cause vasodilatation. In turn, it will decrease the cardiac output. It is a ester group of drug. So its metabolite is PABA, which is inhibit the sulfonamide metabolism. Other uses, it is used with benzyl penicillin, procaine penicillin. It is concomitantly used. And short acting drug, these are procaine, chloroprocaine, benzocaine, and proparacaine. These are the preparations of ointments, lozenges, suppositories, because these are topically applying agents. Ulcer with pain, anorectal area, prophylactically used in the short non-irritant, least antigenic. These, these are non-irritant, least antigenic. They are poor penetration to the next level. Miscellaneous, paramoxine, diclomine. These are the miscellaneous drugs. These are not esters or ramides. Sur- surface these are mainly used in surface anesthesia. Surface anesthetic basic drug ionized in the GERD acidic acid peptic disease. Toxicity, irritation not fixed. In there is no irritation for when it is using for eye, so it is used in ophthalmic solutions. Overdose causes drowsiness. Uses of local anesthetics. Local anesthetics technique are anatomical section where it is injected. Topical, it is a surface anesthesia, sensory nerve endings, mucosal membrane damage and damaged skin, wound burns. It is used in all these conditions. It is not effective in intact skin except eutectic mixture, lignocaine plus pilocaine. It is these local anesthetics used in corneal surface, mouth, nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea. Hemorrhoids, fissures which are having pain. In endoscopic procedures, we use tetracaine, lignocaine, eucalyptic mixtures, benzocaine. These are all used in the these are the uses of the local anesthetics. Adverse effects of the local anesthetics. Blood levels are too high after systemic absorption. It diffuses into the different systems. In the CNS, cocaine is rarely used, but it stimulates CNS when it is taken. Drug dependence will be very high with the cocaine. Tongue numbness, sleepiness, headache. These are the signs and symptoms of CNS toxicity of cocaine. CVS sodium channels are blocked, depressed, abnormal pacemaker activity, excitability, and conduction. Except the cocaine, all local anesthetics are hypotensive. Bupivacaine, it is a cardiotoxic. Cocaine block norepinephrine reuptake, so it produced vasoconstriction and hypertension. Lidocaine, quinidine type of action used in the arrhythmiasis. Next, blood. Prilocaine, which is having orthotoledone metabolite, which causes methemoglobinemia. Allergic, it is the metabolites of the steroid are PABA. It is responsible for the allergic reactions. Drug-drug interactions, lidocaine, adrenaline, unopposed rise of beta-2 effect. It will cause hypertension. Alcohol intoxication needed higher doses. These are all the side effects and drug interactions with the local anesthetics. Thank you.